Screen time is Apple's response to parents requesting control over their students' iPads. In order to access screen time, we're first going to go into Settings, then going to select Screen Time. In Screen Time, we're going to look at downtime. This allows us to set certain times that students are not able to access the iPad. We can set it for certain days of the week, and we can set what times on those days that we want the student to have access or not have access. Also set app limits. This will allow us to choose certain apps or groups of apps to set a time limit for. We can say that the student or child only has access for a certain amount of time. We can choose which days we want them to have that time. So for example, we can add more time on the weekend. Next area is choosing which apps I'm always going to allow. This will allow those apps even when downtime is on. For example, I may want to choose to add the communication app because that will allow them to always communicate. Or I may want to also choose FaceTime, which will allow them to make phone calls to me. The next area is the content and privacy restrictions. When I click in here, I can choose to allow the students to have access to the iTunes App Store, allowing them to install the apps, allowing them to delete the apps, or allowing them to make in-app purchases. In content restrictions, I can choose which level of material I want my student to have access to. For example, music, podcasts, and news, I can choose whether to have clean or explicit language. In movies, I can choose which rating I want my students to have access to. The same goes for TV shows. For books, I can choose whether or not to have clean or explicit language as well. Within the apps, I can choose which age level apps I want my student to have access to. It is good to note, though, that some apps have a higher age rating than you may suspect, so it's always good to check what your app age rating is. The next area is the web content area. This allows me to choose what websites my student has access to. I can either choose unlimited access, limited adult websites, or allowed access. In limited adult websites, I can choose either to always allow a website. So for example, if there is an educational website that I want to add, I can add that under always allowed. If I want to block a certain website, such as YouTube, I can add that here. This will forbid the student from actually accessing that website. I can also turn off web search. This will keep my student from searching for a topic that they're not supposed to be researching at a particular time. There are other restrictions that I can toggle on and off. When I go back to the main screen time page, I can choose to toggle on or off all these privacy restrictions, such as contacts, photos, microphone, and different account changes.